Hi, are you back from part 1 and now you're into part 2? Hi, my name is Bisque Dolly and I read Sorta Okay Online for you. We are reading the picture of Dorian Gray. If you haven't seen the first part of chapter 12 summary, go there, come back so you can figure out where we're at. Alright, so Dorian obviously does not want Basil's company. I mean, when you're out there being evil and possessed by a demon or whatever, you kind of don't want to hang out with like the person that has good intentions and goodwill and actually will hold you accountable, because you're like, you're so boring. You're so boring. You're so annoying. Like trying to make sure that I have integrity and things like that. Like, okay. So Basil's like going around saying things like, no pure-minded girl should be allowed to know you, to whom no chaste woman should sit in the same room with. Essentially, basically, he's telling Dorian the tea. And that right there was British, high society, London, aristocrat talk for everyone's calling you a slut. You're being kind of slutty right now. You're being kind of slutty, and everyone's talking about it. Another thing he's saying is that you're kind of like getting people involved in the kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And he's like, those kinds of things are bad. And apparently people have you to blame for their connection to such vices. I'm like, if I was Dorian, I would be like, oh my God, tell me. Like, if, you know, granted, if I was evil, I probably wouldn't care. But like, because I'm a gossiper, not really, I'm not really that much of a gossiper. But because of like, I want to know what the people are saying, so I can just sit there and use my own discernment and decide for myself. But I do appreciate good tea. Good tea. This tea was hot. Okay, apparently Dorian hooked up with Harry's sister. Yeah, Lord Henry Harry Watson, or whatever his name is. His sister. Be careful who your friends are. Nobody is safe. Not your mother, not your sister, not your friends, nobody. Not high society in London. Apparently Basil's like, your friendship is so fatal to young men and to women. Well, that's to add. Like, I'm adding that part, you know, because apparently even if he goes over to someone's house, that whole house ends up having a bad reputation. Another thing that I like about Basil is that he's like, you have such a wonderful influence. You have such charisma, right? You ever see someone with a bunch of charisma and they have like this capacity to truly like impact people and influence people, and yet they use it for stupid. They use it for, with great power comes great responsibility. Apparently Dorian wasn't interested in the Spider-Man talk. So he's just like, let it be for good, not for evil. They say you corrupt everyone to whom you become intimate with. And that's actually really bad, right? Like, I mean, it could just be rumors. Naturally, Basil wants to stick up for his friend because it's like, okay, like, rude. Why are all you people talking bad about my best friend? I painted a portrait of him. We are literally brothers. But like, he had a crush on him, so maybe not that. But like, you know what I mean? That's like my best friend. I love him. Why would you say anything about, like, don't you dare get my best friend's name out of your hairy mouth. I mean, I would be like that too, you know? I'd be like, you better wax your upper lip before you talk shit about my best friend because you got stains on your freaking face. But that's just me. That's the type of anger I would have. So don't you dare let it be in vain. Don't you ever let it be in vain. Okay? So Basil's like, I feel like you can judge the character of a man based off of the quality of his friendships. Is that not the tea that we're saying currently today on TikTok? Like, in other words, I can tell who you are by the 5 people who are closest to you. Gasp. Literally, he just said it here. And then he goes on to say, You know, like only God can see one's soul. And this throws Dorian into a fit, because naturally Basil's saying this from a space of like, they have no right to say these rumors about you. Only God can see your soul, right? And Dorian is just like, ah, he starts laughing maniacally. This is how I think of it, because Dorian is rich. He's beautiful. He's popular. He has a mansion. He's evil. He filled his mansion with like secret artifacts from like all these different lands. I mean, sacred artifacts from all these different lands. I mean, Dorian is your quintessential eternal life, cursed object, gothic guy that lives in a mansion that was an orphan, that has eternal beauty and all things. And he's like, oh, you think God? You think God is the only one that can see one's soul? Well, here it is, Basil. I have something to show you, Basil. I have something to show you. And we all know where that portrait is, locked away, up somewhere in his mansion, behind a barred door. Dorian is 38 now. Why isn't anybody being like, why do you still look like you're 19? Nobody's saying a damn thing. Everyone's just like, lucky you. I'm here getting grays and wrinkles, and you look perfect. You look perfect. By the way, this Hawkins Seltzer thing was also a favorite of Oscar Wilde, so just letting you know. It's very good. It's very good. So that concludes chapter 12. Okay, we were left off on a cliffhanger where it's like, oh my God, like Dorian's like, come on, we gotta go to my secret spooky room. Spooky, there's a demon in my painting. You know what I mean? Because somebody get him an exorcist. Actually, don't get him an exorcist. I really like the story because like it like prompts me to believe like there's always been this idea that if you're an evil person, if you're a bad person, like truly bad, I mean, people are fallible, right? But I think about like those people that do like crime, like murder and like all these horrible, evil, atrocious things, like truly evil things. And they do have like it shows up on their face, right? Like, have you seen that? Like, have you seen that thing? Or like, I mean, I know it's not used in science to this day, but there was like this, I think it was like 8 pictures of all the different forms of like pathological psychosis that people would go through, like mania and catatonia and all of these things. And they'd have all these different pictures. And they were like, these are the faces of like mentally ill people. And this is what this disease kind of looks like on the face of a person who's suffering from it. So much so, like, I mean, obviously we don't use this as a standard candle of like diagnosing people. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a clinician. I just know that that's not an effective way to diagnose people. And I also know that like you can't really tell if someone's truly evil just by looking at them, right? But like there are people who have done evil things. For instance, like Richard Ramirez or Ted Bundy. And they all have a specific look in their eye, and they have this like specific look in their face, and like, you know, like this, I mean, something about them, like they have evil in their face. And it's shocking and it's scary. You ever look evil in the eye? Well, Basil he's looking evil right in its face. And it's Dorian. Dorian has become evil. But he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. Because Dorian's pretty and popular. And all he can hold on to is his memories of young Dorian. Happy, cheerful, so full of life, so full of promise. And that is not Dorian today. I'll see you for chapter 13 summary when we're done with it. Join me for my lives, because I read sort of okay on live for you. My name is Bisque Dolly, and you are a dreamy girl if you follow me. Thank you so very much. Drink a Hawkins Seltzer. If you're an adult. And do so responsibly. Responsible.
Don't be bad.